Thank you so much, Bugulu, for the introduction, and very warm welcome to you all in Sharm el-Sheikh. I hope that you are all enjoying yourselves, having constructive discussions, and we are up to a very important initiative that needs to go through 5 filters to be blessed. Before saying what are the filters, I'd like to recognize the attendance and the support of the President of Kenya, President William Ruto, President of Malawi, President Chakwera, President Nasembe. I'd like to recognize as well the participation of Minister Lee White of Gabon, on behalf of President Bongo, and we are happy as well to see with us Minister Abdullahi on behalf of President Buhari. And again, it's a great event that we need to support if it goes through 5 filters. So implementation COP. So are we going to see some implementable measures to have carbon credit markets, a holistic approach to climate and sustainable development? Would this market support just transition? Regional cooperation, which is one of the main features of COP27, not just for Africa, but for Africa and beyond. Is there sufficient work on regional cooperation and integration? And the 4th filter is localization. Will it have benefits to local communities, including farmers and small enterprises? And the last one on finance, is it going to be one of the cosmetic, fashionable, trendy matters that we celebrate for a moment and forget afterwards, or it is going to be with a substantive contribution to the financial architecture of our markets? So these are basically the filters that one uses now in order to minimize any kind of misleading announcements that we stand to regret afterwards if they are not really meeting the impact. I'm happy to say, not just because I trust Bugulu and the team, that these filters have been checked, and there are good substantive arguments for having a carbon credit market that needs really to deal with the requirements for climate adaptation and climate resilience. And as you know, the champions stand for the support of all initiatives that can really get us in a better stance when it comes to the race to resilience. And here I'm seeing the following in terms of the substance, that the voluntary carbon markets have been growing with an annual rate of 31% from 2016 to 2021. Last year alone, they saw a 50% increase in real demand. Demand for African origin carbon credit had been growing too, at a compounded annual rate of around 36%. And the growth that I just mentioned is coming from a very low base. So we need to put that into consideration before we just cite figures without knowing the substance behind them. And this initiative, as mentioned by Bugulu, is a result of good partnership and collaboration, and stands to get as well some decent support, not just by governments and market participants, but by philanthropies, and including the many of the participants in today's event. And I see in the audience the head of Rockefeller Foundation, Mr. Shah, and many others in the room as well, who have been providing great support to the cause of climate action and sustainability at large. The 4 core objectives of this initiative. First is to grow an African credit retirement approach to deal with the challenges we are facing, at least by 19-fold. You need to set a price for a floor for African credits traded, which is suffering today from a great deal of confusion and discrepancy. Third is to ensure value creation, equitable and transparent distribution of carbon credit revenue, and to create and or support 30 million jobs by 2030 and more than 100 million by 2050. On demand side, the initiative will seek to organize advanced market commitments, advocate to build demand for African carbon credits, raising awareness of the integrity and quality of differentiated credits and opening access to compliance markets. I remember when I had a brief chat with Kate Hampton, who is in the room as well. First thing that came as reaction by her is basically about issues related to the integrity of the market and whether a good discipline is being put there to capture the value of such markets. I appreciate as well the work of many, not just the participants cited by Bugulu earlier, but others, including Rachel Kite and her work, Laurence Tobiana and their work on integrity with Ms. Buchner. So I have the habit of cutting my good sister Bugulu from time to time. I encourage her to reciprocate. We have a sign, a physical sign that she has to stand first, and then she approaches the podium, and then she gets us out of her way because she is an excellent time manager. But it's a good time as well to recognize her great work with the Africa team and the rest of the champions. And I saw Nigel topping, yes, yeah. And when we were in Gabon, I think he attended a very important meeting there to get us where we are today. So we are building on great knowledge, great work, and we are following international standards, but we are not forgetting the political economy dynamics and the initial conditions of our continent and our countries. And this is a great opportunity that we can really show that we can really do better when it comes to dealing with the main areas of finance and how finance can support climate action. Thank you so much. Have a great discussion today. Thank you.